everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Can It Take K26, the show where I take a variety of blasters and see if they can be upgraded with a K26 spring, and if not, what can they be upgraded with? I am your host, Captain Xavier, and today we're going to be covering two blasters that I was sent in fan mail and have been saving for a special occasion, and first episode of 2019 seems like a perfectly good reason. We are covering the Star Wars ship blasters. They are, action figure scale toys from Rogue One that have some kind of a blaster built into them. We're going to start with the TIE Striker, and we're going to see what they can actually take as far as any kind of upgrade, because I'm curious. I'm now thoroughly curious where it even... Oh! The entire Dart Blaster appears to be a self-contained unit. How doth one prime it? Look! Instructions. Those are not... there they are. This could be a real short episode. Which is good, because I have stuff I need to do this afternoon. But... aha! Well, that's interesting. You put the dart in the barrel, and then you push the whole barrel back, and it seats further in there, and then you push this button, and it fires. I think we can all make a reasonable guess as to the answer on this one. But we're going to check anyways. I was planning to simply, modify this and sell it or give it away, but that is just so magnificently, conveniently arm-mountable that I might just keep the Dart Blaster and possibly give the rest to Goodwill or something. Okay, well that is a decidedly tragic little spring. I'm gonna go with no. Not so much. But it's not even a... it's just a catapult. It's not actually... it doesn't actually have a plunger. Ah! That would explain how they got it so small. Okay, well there's lots of room for additional compression, so we're gonna try some heavier springs. Starting with that one. I'm not even sure what that's from. Probably a double strike. Fortunately, I think that might be too heavy for it to even catch. It is many, many times stronger. To the bin! Need a fairly small spring. It needs to be a similar diameter. Oh. We could find something... we could get away with something of a smaller diameter, actually. Oof. That's way too... Alright, there's a possible compromise. It fits nicely. Remember who sent me these orange springs. If you remember who you are, feel free to shout yourself out in the comments. I think we need a stronger catch spring. Okay, catch spring. Good Lord. Well, I like it. Definitely an improvement. We'll see how much of an improvement later in the video, but that is such a wonderfully self-contained little package that you could mount on your arm and something. Love that. I'm going to assemble the whole thing just so I can see what it looks like in all of its magnificence. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Cthulhu.
Long live the Empire! Err. There are dart holders under the wings. Now, they don't give you enough darts to actually fill them. They only give you the 2, that I could tell. But, you know, you can get more from other places. And then you have dart holders. Very neat. I didn't know the wings were supposed to do that. You learn something new every day. Alright. Top pod. I'm not going to put this down here because it looks like it would be a pain in the butt to get out. So I'm going to leave it out. On to the next contestant. All of the K26 used on this series was donated by Out of Darts. Check out his new website at outofdarts.com for all your Nerf modding needs. Our next contestant is the U-Wing Fighter, since we have to represent the rebellion somehow. I suspect it has a very similar mechanism, but let's get it open and find out. Come on. Alright. This one... Oh no. That's very different looking. Alright, how do you get the blaster out of this one? You push down on the top. Aha! Alright, so, button there deploys the launcher, which, while cool, presents a whole bunch of different issues. But if it is a similar mechanism, yeah, it is. Okay. How do you fire it? Do you push the button again? Yep. Okay. Well, that is interesting. So this button is both the release to drop the blaster down as well as the button to fire the blaster. So that's kind of neat. The downside is it doesn't come off in a neat little package like the other one did. It looks like I'm going to have to tear this thing apart to get to it. Like, completely apart. Well, for science. Alright. We've gotten to heart of matter. Huh. It is a different spring. For the most part, the mechanism looks to be exactly the same, but it is a different spring. Because this was the stock one out of the previous one, and it's longer. Considerably longer. So it looks like it can take pretty much the same spring upgrade. Might have a different amount of compression. The barrel seems to go back the same amount, so it probably has the same compression, I would imagine, or at least fairly similar to it. Maybe a little bit less, actually, looking at where the catch is. But I don't think it'd be much. Anyway, I'm going to put this one back together as it was, and then compare the two to get an idea of what kind of an improvement that spring gave me. Alright, I'm going to range and chrono these and see what I get. I'll be right back. Alright, well, the results are in, and thoroughly unimpressive. The stock one was going so slow my chronograph couldn't even pick it up, and it fired maybe 18 feet. Whereas the modified one, on the other hand, actually did get a perfectly respectable 36 FPS, I mean, which is respectable for what it is, and was hitting about 36 feet. So, doubled the range and increased the FPS enough to actually be red. So, yeah, at 36 feet, this actually does then make a decent holdout, mount it on your arm and use it as a last-ditch blast. Just reach up, power, pow, lovely. I like it. I think it's really neat. That's probably what I'm going to do with that one. May just go ahead and put this one back together and sell it or give it to a friend or take it to Goodwill or something. But I'm going to reassemble it, and then we can recap. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Lettuce.
The force is strong with that man. Right, well there it is, fully assembled. Its front blasters are all tragically warped. They look like mandibles rather than laser cannons. This dial makes the wings flip forward and back. That's neat. This button makes the cannon deploy and fire. I don't know if it fires as it deploys or if you have to deploy it and then fire it. I can find out. I've got the toys. Alright. 2 distinct motions. So, one to drop it, one to fire it. That's neat. They do have safeties. You can't prime them if there isn't a dart in them, which is good because the design is such that it'd probably tear itself apart. Anyway, I think it's pretty neat. Stock performances, not great, but what are you going to do? Let's recap. Alright, for those of you just tuning in, or who just skipped to the end to see the results, that was a no for the TIE Striker, and a no for the U-Wing, though yes to a spring upgrade for both, which about doubled the performance. Still nothing to sing songs about, but you got about 30 feet, give or take, at 36 FPS from this tiny little blaster, which, as I keep mentioning, would be beautifully arm-mountable. The button to release it would be right there if you were right-handed. Left-handed, you could still do it with your thumb. A little less convenient if you wanted it on the left arm, but I would want it on my right. So that is pretty snazzy. That is definitely what I'm going to do with that. I've got a friend who's really into this scale of Star Wars stuff, so I'm going to ask him if he wants them, and if he does, then that is where they will go. If he's not interested, then I will find something else to do with them. But he's not getting this either way. There it is. Thank you to whoever sent me this. I do not remember who. The boxes have long been gone, but you know who you are, and you know that you're awesome. Going forward, I'm going to do K26 like this with 2 blasters once a month. In the old style, I still have plenty of blasters that I can go to, and they keep coming out with new ones, so there will always be new ones to do. But the other video that used to be a K26 episode will become the more involved build guide, where I will test the blaster for K26, and just for the sake of doing it, and then I will go through a series of different levels of modification. The simplest you could possibly do with the minimal amount of tools, probably an intermediate step, and then the pretty much this is the max you could do to this. And I'm going to start with single shot blasters, because doing the full mod potential guide to the more complicated ones, magved springers and stuff like that, is a whole different process, and there's so many different options. So I'm going to look at things like Night Finders and Sweet Revenges and things like that, things that are fairly simple, but that there are multiple things that you can do with, and I'll try to find resources for the cheapest place for the parts. And one person recommended that I actually sell kits with all of the materials necessary, and I really like that idea. So that is kind of what's going to take place for K26 going on this year. It is entirely possible that I will do surveys and let you guys choose which blasters you want me to do next for the involved build guide. K26 will still be limited by what I have available, but I will probably, each episode, have 3 to 5, maybe more, different single-shot blasters that I have that you'd like to see a full guide on, and that is what I will do the following month, which should give me enough time to do the research necessary to actually know what all can be done to them. Because some of them you can do some pretty amazing things to. So I'm going to be looking into that and doing as much research and all of that. So stay tuned for that, but there will still be silliness. K26 will often probably be relegated to the weirder blasters that I've found have been sent, and kind of the focus on, can I destroy this? Let's see if I can destroy this. That could be kind of fun. So let me know what you guys think, and thank you guys for watching.